Kia good morning everyone, Richard here, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to have a look at the Microfogger 3 Pro, the successor to the Microfogger 2, which is a gadget that I really love myself despite it has a few flaws. And just a usual disclaimer before we start, some of the products that I'm going to show you in this video was sent to me for this review. But this review is completely independent, just like all my other reviews. If you have previously watched my Microfogger 2 review, you can just skip this part and jump to the next part of the video, which I will talk about the new features that come with the Microfogger 3 Pro and also how to set it up and use the Microfogger 3 Pro. But if you have no idea what Microfogger is, let me give you a quick introduction. But I do also suggest you to watch my Microfogger 2 review after you watching this video, as that video has a lot of extra information about the Microfogger 2 that also applies to Microfogger 3 Pro as well. Microfogger 3 Pro is, well, a fog or snow machine. The best thing about it is its really tiny size. It is one of the smallest fog machine in the market. It is powered by the built-in rechargeable battery, and the tank for the fog liquid is here right at the top of the device. You can carry it around very easily, and you can even just carry it around in your pocket, but I wouldn't recommend you to do that for safety reasons. You can also remotely control the Microfogger 3 Pro using the included remote control. You can place it virtually anywhere, even some very tight space that a normal fog machine wouldn't fit. So you have a lot of flexibility in terms of where you place it and how you set up the Microfogger. The Microfogger 3 Pro requires virtually no warm-up time, so as soon as you turn it on, you can start use it straight away. I'm now running this at full power, so you can hear a bit of noise, but I would say compared to the other fog machine in the market, this Microfogger 3 Pro is still pretty quiet. Now, while the Microfogger can generate decent amount of smoke, it is still a very tiny device, so it is really only suitable for indoor use. It works great in this 3 meter by 3 meter room, and some slightly larger indoor area would work very well as well. But if you want to use it outdoor, it will most likely struggle to give you the effect that you want. Just like pretty much any smoke machine, it could make some of the nearby surface a little bit oily after using it, but I don't find it too bad. It could also trigger the smoke alarm as well, so be careful if you are using it near a smoke alarm detector. Okay, now let's talk about why you may want to have a Microfogger. When you are watching movies, sometimes you may wonder why some of the scenes look so cinematic. Well, there are usually many reasons: the lighting, the camera angle, but one trick filmmakers quite often use is they add a bit of haze or smoke to the scene, which could not only just soften up the scene a little bit, but it also changes the contrast and rendering of the scene, especially when you combine it with some good lighting. For me, when I do my product or toy photography, I like to add a bit of smoke effect to make my photo look a bit more cinematic. If I use a normal size smoke machine in a room like this, it would generate way too much smoke and easily fill up this room with smoke very quickly. And that's not exactly what I want, as I don't just want to have smoke. I want to have fine control on the amount of smoke and also how the smoke look like as well. And this is why a small smoke machine like this Microfogger is perfect, as it gives me a lot more control on how the smoke would look like and how my photo or video would look like. Okay, I'm now going to show you how to set up and use the Microfogger 3 Pro, as well as the feature, especially the new features and changes that comes with the Microfogger 3 Pro. When you receive your Microfogger 3 Pro, the first thing you should do is to charge up the battery inside it. There is a micro USB port in the front. And to charge it, you need to first turn on using the switch at the back of the device, and then you plug in the USB cable. This sequence is very important. You can't charge the device if you do not turn on the power switch at the back, and you also can't just connect the USB power supply first then turn on the power. This is a weird design, but I guess we just have to remember that. But I'm a bit disappointed that the Microfogger 3 Pro is still using a micro USB connector like the Microfogger 2 instead of upgrading to a USB-C connector. However, at least with the Microfogger 3 Pro, you no longer have to press this button 5 times before you charging and turn it into the standby mode first, and when finished charging, press this button 5 times again to get out of the standby mode. This is now all handled automatically by the Microfogger 3 Pro. And now while you are charging the Microfogger 3 Pro, the next thing you should do is to fill up the Microfogger 3 Pro with the fog liquid. So first you need to unscrew the tank, which is at the top of the device, by turning it counterclockwise. It could be a little bit tight the first time, but you should be able to do it by just using your fingers only. So once you remove the tank, turn it upside down, and then you can place it on a desk or some flat surface, and you can now fill it up with the fog liquid that comes with the Microfogger 3 Pro. Be careful, you should only fill up the outside of the tank, not the inside, and fill it up to the top of the internal wall. If you accidentally fill the inside of the tank, just use some tissue paper to clean it up. You should only use the special fog liquid that is designed for the Microfogger. The fog liquid that is for the normal fog machine wouldn't work as they are just not strong enough. So this is a downside, especially for people like me who are not living in US, as the shipping to New Zealand is not cheap at all. So while a small bottle of fog liquid can last quite a long time, I would suggest you to order an extra bottle of fog liquid or two when you order your Microfogger to save some shipping costs and time. And on the same topic, another thing that I would also recommend you to order is a pack of heating coil. The heating coil should last quite a while, and there's an extra spare one that comes with the Microfogger, but this is another consumable part and it will wear out eventually. So just order an extra pack of 5 heating coil for $20 when you order your Microfogger, and then with the extra bottle of fog liquid, you should be able to run your Microfogger 3 Pro for a very long time without having to buy anything else. So once you fill up the tank, you can now put it back onto the Microfogger 3 Pro. And because the tank is now filled with the fog liquid, so you would need to turn the Microfogger upside down, and then you can now screw the tank onto the Microfogger like this to avoid spilling the fog liquid outside. So tighten it up using just your fingers, but don't need to over tighten it up, and then turn it around and have it sit like this, stand up like this, and leave it for at least 30 minutes. This step is very important as it is to allow the heating coil to absorb the fog liquid, or you will be burning the heating coil instead when you start using it. Once the battery is fully charged, you can now remove the USB charging cable and start using it. And to generate smoke, just press the big button here. It is very easy. Or you can use the included remote control instead. If you use the remote control, the 4 buttons on the remote control would generate different amount of smoke. When you have finished using the Microfogger 3 Pro and want to put it back into storage, you should remove the tank and also clean up any remaining fog liquid instead of just leaving it attached to the device. This is to avoid the fog liquid getting inside the device when it's sitting like this for a long time and cause damage to it. If you have watched my Microfogger 2 review, you may remember one thing I mentioned is that with the Microfogger 2, it is not exactly easy if you want to change some of the settings or try to figure out what is the current settings, because there are only 2 status lights on the Microfogger 2. But now, one of the biggest improvement with the Microfogger 3 Pro is that now it has a display screen which display all the important information, and that also allows you to change the settings very easily. The 2 most important settings are fan speed and coil power. Fan speed determines how fast smoke is coming out from the device. So sometimes you may want smoke to come out really fast and also travel further away, so you would choose a fast fan speed. Coil power determines how much smoke is generated, so if you want to generate a lot of smoke, set it to high power. Both of these settings have 8 different adjustable levels. And with the new display, it is just so much easier to change these settings compared to the older Microfogger. There are some more settings that you can change by going into the advanced settings mode. You can do that by long press the mode button for a few seconds. There are quite a few different settings that you have in the advanced settings mode. For example, instead of having to hold down the button to generate smoke, you can set it so the Microfogger 3 Pro would generate smoke for a certain number of seconds by just pressing the button once. You can set a delayed start timer. You can also set how many repeat cycles the device will generate smoke every time you press the button. And because the screen will now show you exactly what setting you are changing and the value of the setting, so changing all these settings are really straightforward. When you order your Microfogger 3 Pro, it would come with a bottle of fog liquid, a remote control, a spare heating coil, and also a USB charging cable, so you can start using it without having to purchase anything else. But as I've mentioned before, I do also recommend you to buy an extra pack of heating coil and also maybe an extra bottle or 2 of the fog liquid to save you some shipping costs. But there are also a few other extra accessories that you could consider. For example, they have created this rack attachment which allows you to generate smoke in a more controlled direction, or there is this circular diffuser which can generate smoke in 360-degree direction. So depends on how you want to use the Microfogger. These accessories can be quite useful as well, but just remember you would also need to buy an attachment adapter and maybe a silicone hose separately if you want to use any of these accessories. I have been using my Microfogger 2 regularly for a lot of my product and toy photography. I would say this is something that become a must-have gadget for me. I just really love how easy is it to use it and how it can give me a very cinematic look to my photo and also my video. The biggest improvement of this new Microfogger 3 Pro compared to the previous version is definitely the new screen, as it hugely improved the usability. I can see the fan speed, coil power, battery level on the screen, and changing the settings is really straightforward now because everything is clearly displayed. The new settings available in the advanced setting mode could also be useful for some users as well. I'm a bit disappointed that it is still using a micro USB port for charging the battery and still require you to turn on the device before you can charge it. But with the new screen and all the other new improvement and new features, I can accept some of these limitations as it is a much better device compared to the previous version. With the remote control now included as a standard accessory and also the other improvement, the price of the Microfogger 3 Pro now has gone up a bit to $190 US, so it is definitely not a cheap gadget. Before I got my Microfogger, I was mainly using the atmosphere aerosol, which is a spray can, to generate the smoke effect. While it also works very well, it is not exactly cheap, as quite often I need to buy a few cans of atmosphere aerosol every month or two. So if you are someone like me who want to add some smoke effect to your photo or video regularly, or even just semi-regularly, buying a Microfogger could save you money in long term. It also allows me to have some fine control and also some advanced feature that I couldn't do with a spray can solution.